Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Lion Voice.
Nollywood. How familiar are you with Nollywood and what's happening in Nigeria?
Very familiar. I was in Nigeria within the last couple of months. I spent some time over there, and in regards to how Nigeria has surpassed, really being the center of Afrobeats, has surpassed reggae music, and you can make the argument for soca also.
You heard in my feelings, although it's reality.
It's reality. And when I talk about that, one would say, no, reggae music is older, and that's not necessarily true, because Africa is the birthplace of humanity. So those people that created reggae music are African people that were displaced.
Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Men in the Balance. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm an entertainment attorney, I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm an actionist, and the item know I'm the host of the LionVoice vlog. And right now I'm here with one of I'm Bridget. And I tell the ones them that, I'm on superpower is the network. And it's a great honor to be able to introduce this Bridget, and I want the ones that get used to this Bridget on this platform. You wear a whole heap of hats just like I and I. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about I and I Bridget. BWARE, also known as Damon Vanzant. So introduce thyself to the people there.
Blessed. It's your guy, extraordinaire. Yes, the one and only BWARE. Everything is clear, so I have no fear, I swear. So, listen here. AKA the guy in the lion's den.
Yes.
AKA from state to state. AKA passport stamp out. AKA that guy in first class. AKA Iyanla's son.
See him son.
You see it. Hold on. We gotta get one thing. Hold on. I gotta get one son.
Alright. So this one gonna be a lively. Yeah man, this is gonna be a lively episode. So guys, then just stay tuned.
Somebody move my lion. Okay. You see that wall was very bland and plain in the back of the wall.
And we're gonna get into it because BWARE deals with television production. So you see, he doing the set high level. I had to take down and look up the bunch of no star that can't work. High level everything there. So explain some of the work that you do in the creative industry.
Well, in the creative industry, I am a television film producer. I work on mostly reality shows and documentaries. And I've been doing that for like the last 12 years. So on top of that, I'm a selector / DJ. You know, Soundman,
Revolution,
Sound Killer.
them full of the Dejazmatch dubs too, you know.
full of Kwasi tune them.
Well, Haile Selassie the first, the Almighty, and this is the Dejazmatch Kwasi. Well, revolution has been called to war by the demands of the people. Listen, well, treading through the concrete jungle, ready for the US rumble. Tell us some boy be humble, or else them hopes and dreams will crumble. Tell them people want a revolution, no wanna come and dance for your sound pollution. Beware, say one solution, use some dub plate and slaughter jump on one plan. Them want revolution, no wanna come and dance for your sound confusion. Super say one solution, use some dub plate and, well, we kill dynamic. Platinum kids get two side kick, the music hit then them jawbone twist. Revolution in the Bronx, people rise them fists. Black power Dancehall, Mikey one start panic. Bun black magic, them a ride broomstick. Your bunky hype say him love talk slick. Two dub plate and bust up him lip. Website get lock off, we cut off them switch. 6 sound catching and say them get trick. How we pay them fi dead front of John Public. Them can't find chin so them call Irish. Irish say me nah friend fish, so case dismiss. Well then, well people want a revolution, wanna come and dance for your own pollution.
You know what? But all of that stuff, that's not who I am. That's just those are just things that I do. You know, who I am is, you know, I'm God's servant. I'm a Lodemade's servant. I'm Jehovah's servant. I'm his, you know, her's disciple. You know, I'm here to do their work. And it just so happened that the industry in the film and the industry in the area in which they put me in to do my work just so happens to be I wouldn't even say entertainment industry, because we don't entertain people. We more edutain them. You know, we want to heighten their awareness, raise their frequency. You know, leave them, plant some seeds that, you know, when they leave us, that they think about their interaction with us and the impression that we left on them. So, and it just so happens that we're in the field where a lot of people are being misled and misguided, and so our job is to really derail that, right, and use this platform, you know, to get our people on track, to put them in the right direction, to heighten their awareness, to educate them too. And when I say educate, I'm talking about nurturing that's already within them, nurturing those talents and gifts that's within them and bringing them out, bringing them forth. So that's why we're doing this content thing. That's the only reason. Like, not trying to be rich and famous and none of that shit. I mean, that's cool because God takes care of God's people, you know, when you're in alignment with your divine assignment. So it's just about being in alignment and answering the call.
What I tell people, whatever my clients, whatever, yes, we know content is king, but more importantly, we got to control our own narrative. For far too long, we developed the raw materials of culture, and then other people come and document. They process it, they package it, and then they sell it and reap the reward.
That's right.
And then we get the pennies. This is why I started this platform, because who's going to tell my story if I don't tell my story? Who's going to be able to sit down with the brethren I surround myself with? You know what I mean? So that even other young brethren can see, okay, this is how black men are moving in this time. You know what I mean? Working together. And this is a brother who has been to the Jamaica Music Conference, Revolution, competed in our Clean Clash, you know, against King Ad's Next Level. So, you know, this president doesn't just support with talk, you know what I mean? Come to the, it was through the I met Christine, who, you know, has also been a mighty strength, and other ones. So he's opened his network over the years, and that's why I keep saying that the network is the superpower. I can't do everything, but if I know other people
in the area,
and we can connect, and I can bring value, and then, you know what I mean? So talk about your network, which is very vast. How important is it for people to really invest in a network?
Shout out to Wally King, because Wally always say, your network is your net worth. So, you know, that's a mantra in business. It's important that you network. you know, for many reasons. I would say that one of the top reasons is, you know, you want to be able to leverage that network. So, for example, right, if you, as an event planner, let's say you're a dancehall promoter, and you know certain sounds in certain areas and certain artists in certain areas, or promotional companies, or even promoters that, you know, you might be able to say, hey, let's bring Bone TV, stop at your city, then come to my city. So that networking piece is really, really important. I don't think that a lot of people in our community understand that, because there's a lot more burning bridges than healing and creating relationships, you know, through different networks and different areas. On my television show, Carib Life ATL.
From executive producer Damon Vanzant comes this gripping new reality TV series, Carib Life ATL.
We have the greatest show in the world for you today.
Watch it. You'll see that.
We're gonna put the website, all the links will come up on the screen, so all of that, you know what I mean?
You'll see some of that feuding, you know, that inner tribal feuding, that and the destruction of that. And we've been filming for 4 seasons, and I would think that by season 4 we're in a different situation. And it's the same thing, Reggie. And it's just more intense now.
Yeah.
So you can see as when that wound doesn't get healed, it just becomes worse, and it becomes infected, and it starts to spread. You know, and you can see that wound of white supremacy, of being oppressed, of being a conquered people, of a dismantling of our families. You can see that wound, you know, the wound of being separated from the knowledge of yourself. You know, that wound is growing now, and that shit is bleeding all over society, man. You know, all over the society, in every area, in our area, in dancehall and reggae music, and like, the industry and the culture isn't what it used to be. I mean, nothing is. There's always evolution. There's always transition. Things have to grow. That means there's life is in that thing. But our thing isn't growing. It's going in the other direction.
It's aging out.
Yeah, because
the audience.
Look, how degenerate can you get, bitch? You talking about when we was going to a dance as youths. You go out dance and
start the things.
And you see a little sister in your hand, you and her catch her eye, and you don't know already, so you just approach her and we'll grab her hand, and you whine that thing all night, bitch. You the same thing, man. Every song that come by, you switch gears from the wine, and she turn around this and hear some style and on the wall and see what you know the way there is.
We live it in the 90s.
Sure, no, man.
Yeah, man.
And the tune that them used to play was more like, yo, I love her, you're the apple of my eye, you're my guiding star, you're my shining star, like, you know, and probably the most aggressive, you'd be like, yo, come in, let me give you some wine. You know, it wouldn't probably get too much.
We had some slackness, but it was balanced.
It was well balanced, and the slackness didn't outweigh.
Because we did have X-rated Shabba. We did have them song there in the dance.
But you're talking about but Shabba was just one little piece where him alone was there on that. Everybody else was there on.
Yeah, there was balance.
You see what I did?
You know, because he said one joke, one wash. That is serious. When you really analyze, you know, I met them things that drastic. You know what I mean? Not very drastic, but that's another thing.
But look how wicked it is now. But I mean, it's very graphic.
It's graphic. The graphic becomes the norm.
The more Shabba, what Shabba said? The more Shabba will tell you is poom poom or panache.
Yeah.
Right? Man, the man them say pussy straight nowadays with no hesitation.
Yeah, it's
not even poom poom again.
Yeah,
it's a straight pussy and hey guy, you want fuck.
I call it blue movie dancehall.
Like that, man.
You know what I mean?
I don't like it, man.
No,
you don't like it, man.
But you said something earlier, Iyanla, son. Obviously your mother is globally renowned. What is that like in terms of being the son of someone who is so respected in the community and who is dealing with the issue of trauma? Because everything that we're talking about is kind of symptomatic of the trauma that our people are facing.
Sure.
Your mother has been known for that, and for those who haven't caught on already, Iyanla Vanzant, this is her son. So, you know, what has that experience been like being in that light, and do you feel a responsibility yourself to kind of carry on that tradition of healing trauma or addressing the trauma our people are facing?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, that's the only reason that we're here. You know, shout out to my mom, because she was the one that really taught me and persuaded me, guided me into, you know, the film industry. Never saw myself, you know, as a selector. Yes. I was killing sounds. Now I'm hanging out with Oprah and Gail and Tyler. You know, it's like, oh shit, you know, the gears switch. So, but no matter where you are, it's like, I'm who I am. And
it's one thing I respect. BWARE is BWARE anywhere.
I'm not switching. That wasn't how my mom's raised a warrior, and as a warrior, my job is to, you know, to be in alignment with my divine assignment. And my divine assignment as a warrior is to uplift my community, to stand for my family, to provide, secure, and to lead. You know, in those three things, and whichever order you want to put them in, no matter where I'm at, whether I'm a selector, whether I'm a television producer, whether I'm, you know, a bartender. You know, I'm not going to compromise who I am because of the environment that I'm in. I'm going to bring my energy and my frequency no matter where I am. And I'm going to bring it there, and I'm going to raise the frequency if it's not already where my energy is. So, and it just so happened like that's what we're doing in this film industry. You know, you saw the work that Mom was doing before even Fix My Life, starting over. If you want to go back there, you know, and her books, you know, are doing well, and they've always been doing well and been good joys for them, and it's been a healing source for a lot of people. So now it's like, you know, to reach millions of people, or large numbers of people with a product or you know, a series or a movie or Fix My Life or a show or something like that, because our people are drawn to what they believe is celebrity.
Yes.
Right? You know, so, and that's not how we live, you know. I can speak for my mom in that regard. Anybody know that? That's just not, that's for them.
Yeah.
So we're over here because there's a job for us to do, not because we're trying to be famous. You know, and that's the difference. So the accolades and everything that comes along with that whole Hollywood and entertainment lifestyle, like that doesn't, it's not like we got shine eyes, Barrington would say. Yeah. That doesn't do it for us. We're not in that vanity thing. You see what I mean? It's about our people.
Right. It comes across. I've seen guys work on the sound system. You know, you're comfortable in that arena. I was at the US Rumble. You know what I mean? So all of them things, to me, it shows that balance. And like you said, that the celebrity hasn't impacted you from what you love or who you identify when you came in the door as BWARE. What I want to know, in terms of, because your work, you know, selected, you're up front, but your work is more behind the scenes. What type of skills do you have to have, like for a young person who wants to get into production? What type of skills, what's a day in the life of BWARE in terms of the type of responsibilities you have in television production?
Well, I answered the first part, the kind of skills, if you're not going to day in life. So I would say that, let's use myself as an example. When I first started in production, I didn't know shit about, I didn't know anything about anything. I couldn't tell you about cameras, lenses, the D to die, nothing. I was green. And but it was for respect that I learned it, because coming in the door as Iyanla's son, it's like I could have been in any position I wanted to be in and fake it till I make it.
Yeah.
But I didn't come in as her son. I came in as BWARE.
Yeah.
And people didn't know that was my mom's.
Yeah.
And it was because, you know, when you're a warrior, when you are raised with certain skills, no matter what environment you're in, you're going to exercise what you know. Mm-hmm. So like I'm a hustler, I'm a go-getter, I'm going to make something happen, I'm going to figure something out, I'm going to make a situation work for me.
Yeah.
So put me in there, you know, at the bottom as a production assistant. Like, I didn't like that at all, but people was going to respect me for who I am and how I move, not because I'm Iyanla's son.
That's important.
Right? So I started at the bottom and learned everything from the bottom and started moving up and learning this and learning that and asking questions. And so I would say the skill that you need is probably just some motivation.
You said a key, ask questions. How important are asking questions? Because a lot of people don't want to look stupid. You know what I mean?
Right, it's very important. Like, and it's really how you ask the question and when you ask it. You know, it's like just like if you on the block, right? If you on the block and you doing your little thing, and one of the older guys, you see them, and his thing is moving, and he got a certain amount of respect and you're not gonna walk up to him in the middle of him handling business and say, yo, how you? Right? You see what I mean? It's about timing, it's about strategy, it's about, you know, asking the right question at the right time. Now, if he's in the middle of tuning a camera or doing attaching a lens, people are like, well, what is that lens for? And why do you know, you see what I did?
Yeah.
So it was more like that for me, because again, I didn't know anything about anything. And the guys that I was working with, they weren't trying to teach me anything. There's a politics in film.
Protecting their
Their local territory, their local area where they think it's theirs, or their local links or whatever. It's not like how you got a link and they say, yo, my bitch over here, yo, call him and it's not like that. It is very, very, it's a closed door fraternity, you know, and it's like you have two sides to it. You got union and you got non-union, right? And it's like the union people, you know, like they're the ones that's getting the benefits and the pensions and things like that, and the big studio jobs. But when reality television kick in, it changed the whole game. Now you have young black producers, right? Myself, you have young black cameramen, young black audio, or young black you know, admin people that can do the work behind the scenes, the admin work. Young, I'm talking 20s, 30s, sometimes 19, 20, you know, that can come in and do this work that's been so guarded in Hollywood for years. Because reality television, just like when Fix My Life came in, you see the young brothers and them trying to do their thing. So you be like, well, and I'm in a position to support them. Even though I wasn't very high in the totem pole, I'm still Iyanla's son.
Yeah.
So it's just, hey mom, blah 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 blah. Yo, watch this guy.
Yeah. So you're
right?
able to.
Oh, especially once I understood that power. My first 2-3 years, I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And neither did the guys that I was working with told me.
And this is important because a lot of times these gates have been closed to us as black people. So when someone can open the door and pull in your brothers and your sisters, that's a powerful, and I think it speaks to the mission when you say your divine assignment is being at that door, being able to pull in people who probably wouldn't get that opportunity. Talk about Black Hollywood, aka the ATL. Is it a real thing, do you think, in terms of what's happening in Atlanta with production? Tyler Perry built a whole studio out there. To me, I admire that whole energy in terms of black people being locked out of Hollywood and now creating. But is it really black owned? Is that from being in the inside of it? Is it something that we should celebrate, or is it
Don't get me in trouble, man. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? I get the answer. I get the answer already. We move on.
No, but you know, this is what I always say, right? You know, it is a lot. I would say Black Hollywood is like 75 to 80% Black owned, right? In regards to a lot of Black owned productions, a lot of the reality shows you see on television, like are Black owned. Yeah, that's Black owned. It might be on the white network, but there's a Black person that owns that show. So and determines, you know, how the show's gonna run and who's gonna work on it, you know, who the cast is going to be. So Black people in a lot of powerful positions where they're making people's career. Take Love and Hip Hop just for an example, where that's owned by Mona Scott. Shout out to Mona Scott, where you know, I'm not talking about what they do on the show or don't do. That's another conversation. Yeah. But I'm talking about the business of the show.
This is what I am interested in.
Because she owns that show, right? She owns the entire franchise. Yes. So that's Hollywood, New York, Atlanta, Miami, right? Which really has made VH1. Yeah. You know, MTV is something else, but VH1 is like this show really made them in this new era. Because if you go back, one would argue for what was the show there, The Real World. But Real World was on MTV. It wasn't on VH1, right?
VH1 had some different reality shows though. I can't remember what but they
loved
to show videos.
Flavor of Love.
Yeah, and they showed videos after MTV stopped showing videos. They were showing music.
But this took it to a whole nother level. Like this was storytelling. Reality television is storytelling, right? With just a different format. Why they say it's reality is because there's not like some shows, even though it's in a reality genre, it's scripted but not say this, then you say that, and then you say this, and then you say not like that.
No, they put together the scenes.
Yes.
We all meet at the club.
Yes.
And we gonna film it.
Yes. Yeah. It's this. We will control the environment. We'll rent this club, and we're like in that regard. You know, it's not reality in that regard. But they'll put them in. It's okay. Boom. Shoot. And
it still falls under the category of unscripted television.
Unscripted, right. You know, probably the only documentaries is reality. Yeah. You know, again, it's interesting how you're defining what it really is. So anyway, a lot of the shows are Black owned, and these Black owners are putting a lot of Black production people, so cameras, producers, DITs, ACs, production assistant, like everything, like from the ground up. Like if you were to come on Fix on Life, it was from the ground up was all of our community. Like it was an all Black set, and you're talking about we won 4 NAACP Image Awards. So it's not like because you got Black people on your production set, you're gonna get a less quality product. So it's clearly that's not the case. Because right now, if you look at all in Atlanta, when you talk about 50s in Atlanta, he's doing what's the city he's doing? The whole Power thing is shot there, except for the one in New York. But they're shot there. Then there's the one the shit he's doing with BMF. Yeah, man. Black Mafia Family. He's there. And then, you know, Will and Martin shot Bad Boys 3 there. You know what I'm saying? Panther was shot there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Tyler Perry got his
the Oval, Sister, all of his studios are there. A lot of movies are shot there. But then there are a lot of movies a lot of things that aren't Black owned, like BET stuff. Right? And they're shot at different studios, but a lot of it is also shot at TP studios.
So we're gonna wrap this up shortly, but this is how I want to take it now. Nollywood. How familiar are you with Nollywood and what's happening in Nigeria?
Very familiar. I was in Nigeria within the last couple of months. I spent some time over there. And, you know, in regards to how Nigeria has surpassed, you know, really being the center of Afrobeats, has surpassed reggae music, and you know, you can make the argument for soca also.
You're hurting my feelings, although it's reality.
It's reality. And when I talk about that, you know, one would say, no, reggae music is older, and that's not necessarily true, because Africa is the birthplace of humanity. So those people that created reggae music are African people that were displaced. You see what I'm saying? So
rhythm, which is why reggae was so big in Africa, because it was an African rhythm that was just.
It's come home. It's come full circle.
And now that our brothers and sisters on the soil, on the continent, are, because Afrobeats, let's be real, it started on a dancehall chassis. And then they added and it's evolved, but all of them, Pata Rankin, Burna Boy, all of them were dancehall artists in their early inception. Two-Face,
and they realized that they couldn't work. That wasn't working for them as an African artist.
Exactly. So now they went more into their own style, and the instrumentation changed. They added more African elements, the subject matter. And then they went, and now they're occupying the lane that was 90s dancehall used to occupy in the party scene. The feel good.
And they got a little piece of hip hop and R&B too.
Yeah.
They got a little piece of that too, man. The R&B, where's the R&B at right now?
No R&B. So, good point. Is that they do a love song. Afrobeat's the only one that's doing real love songs where, you know.
And listen to the lyrics, like, you don't need no other. You don't need no other body. Just leave that alone. But then you go on the flip side and you listen to what's on the hip hop, where they look at, like, where you hear Chris Brown talking about, baby girl, what you want? You looking like you trying to fuck it. You know, let's make a movie and throat baby, and like the disrespect for the black woman on that side. You know, that's why I said things has come to full circle. You said like 90s dancehall, where there was a lot love songs and romancing your woman songs, and even the songs that you would say was explicit at that time weren't vulgar the way that they are today.
Not the same visceral.
No, man, different energy. More degenerate nowadays.
Maybe Lady Saw was very visceral.
At the time she came to that, but she wasn't even saying pussy. She was saying my poom poom.
Well, like, on the uncensored version, she taught some things.
My panani and things like that. But then nowadays they saying straight my pussy. And my pussy this.
It's rough out there.
What?
But this was a great reasoning.
Well, the Nollywood. Let me finish.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So with the Nollywood thing, right? There is an opportunity for this country to move forward very rapidly and very strategically through the arts.
Yes.
They can bring wealth to the country. And I'm in Nigeria. Where I stayed was probably about an hour and a half. Somewhere between an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours tops from the airport. But because of the conditions of the road, 7 hours. So I flew 18 hours and then I drove 7 hours. I'll travel for a day to get to this place. And I'm there. And they're conducting, in the area where I was at, they're conducting business with foreigners, with people from the US, people from England, people from Europe. And so they're getting pounds and EU and dollars in, not necessarily Nigerian money, Naira, right? Yeah. And I'm saying to myself, well, shit, why don't we fix the damn roads and the infrastructure? So it seems to me that they're emulating what they see America do. And if that's going to be the route that they follow, then they're going to experience the same thing America is going to experience, right? But if they really use this as an opportunity to uplift this nation, like it really can put Nigeria at the forefront It really, really can. You know, in a lot of areas, you're talking about distribution, supply chains, you know, the clothing industry.
Don't they have an Hollywood Netflix that they built, a platform subscription service?
You know, when I was there, you know, Hip TV would probably be the equivalent to MTV here.
Yeah.
And their award ceremony, the production, the lighting, the filming, the A1, it could compete with any American award show, any American award show. But, right, then it's, you know, it's like the third world shit just gotta be in there somewhere. That's just that event. When you see how everything else is, you know, some of the stuff on their network look like, you know, somebody did it with, how would I know? I wouldn't even say a cell phone, but.
Could Black Hollywood link with Nollywood? And is that happening? Is there any potential? Do you see something like that?
Definitely, you know, I'm definitely taking a look at that myself, bridging that gap, you know, with the relationships that I have there, being able to produce content, you know, that's applicable to Africa and here, and no matter where you are in the diaspora, for that sake. So it's definitely, it can happen. It's happening. You know, it's unfolding as we speak. You know, there's the dynamics with different. You know, television over there runs very differently. Like you put a television show together, and like you have to pay the network to put your show. It's different than over here in America. So
you have to find all the financing, the sponsors, and then
everything. And then you go to them. It's not advertising based like it is over here. So it's a whole different situation if you're on television. So there's a different conversation because if you go over there having an American television conversation, like that's not the conversation that they're having over there right, at all.
So this is very powerful because I look at Nigeria as being like LA and New York in one combined because they have the film industry there and then the music industry is big there. That's going to be like the content hub of the continent. Also the most populous African nation. They say by 2050, 1 in 5 people on the planet will be Nigerian. That's how serious Nigeria. So right now they're 100. I can't remember how much million in Nigeria. 100, I think 75. Million and gone. So and they have one of the fastest growing, one of the youngest populations.
Yeah, very young population. Not that it's elders though, but it's a strong young population.
That's why, you know, I want my, you know, all of the creators, we all have to be looking at, if you're a black creator right now at the African continent, 1.3 billion eyeballs, if you want to put it in that term. The youngest, 70% of the African continent is under 30. This is going to be our market. I've been preaching this, particularly for reggae and dancehall. We're going to definitely be trying to use the JMC to bridge that gap between Africa. But these are so much things. Again, I want you to get used to this, brethren, on this channel. This is just an opening. I just want you to see the levels I carry in different places. We don't go deep into sound system conversation and how much Bounty him having Ironbox and Sizzla Kalonji him having Ironbox. We don't touch them thing there. We don't go into the in-depth of the television production. We just touch a little piece of it. We didn't go into how he traveled around the world and different businesses and investing, and that's for later. This is just open, like I said, it's my brethren. So get used to the brother on this channel. You know, my goal for this channel again is just to expose people to conversations that, you know, black man and woman who are positive, high frequency are having. Because I can't go on a corner right now, be where I sit down and say I'm gonna sit down and, you know what I mean? I don't have time for that. But I can, you know, we can create content so that youths can sit in and say, okay, that makes sense, and you know, I can aspire to be something because I see these two men are family man taking care of their families, but they're also up to the speed of what's going on. They're responsible, but they're not lame either. You know what I mean? So we want to show the people them different looks. So any final words? How can they find your works? How can they support your works?
Well, I'm on all of the social media handles.
Yes.
Carib Life Media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can watch the show on One Caribbean Television, which is we're on Roku, Tubi, Apple Television, Android Television, Fire Stick. Just Google Carib Life ATL, and they give you a couple of options so you can watch the show. That'd be the best way to look out, to really contact us is to search through our social media platforms. CaribLifeMedia.com, you can see us on the web. And just kind of look out for us. We've done a lot of work this year in regards to festivals. I'm getting ready now for a festival tomorrow. It's in addition to season 4, which was really, really good. So a lot more productions, a lot more stories.
We didn't talk about the Atlanta. So the next time you come forward, we'll talk about Carib ATL, the whole how that came about, the idea, and really get in depth into the reality scene and more about the reggae dancehall, soca, Caribbean scene that is documented. But again, give thanks, my brother, for coming in. And as you can see, the time has come for the lions to tell their own story.
Yeah, man.
And this is the LionVoice.
LionVoice. Beware, super. Them come feel the Almighty. Revolution sound your big bow, yeah. Anyway, well, revolution inside the dancers. Send them slackness sound, we slaughter them all. Big up them chests, that's why them fall. Start playing up now, them a ball. Revolution, them stand up in a sound clash. Boy come a dance a play tune, Bobati wash. Revolution, just sit up and watch. Cause the fool don't know the tune we got in a with dub box. We got D Brown and Gregory Isaacs. We got Buju Capleton, Colt and Nax. I miss enough of them a vulture. Wolf and fox, whole parasite, parasite. Them want attach, we use we dub them. Chop them like a cutlass, go tell them thugs them. Babylon new system a crash, cause we no love when little sound boy go and stack a we a big man. Have to keep the youths pan track. Revolution inside the dancers. Send them slack me sound, we slaughter them all. Big up them chests, that's why them fall. Start play tune now them a ball. Revolution of them a sound teacher. Selector over there so him a real creature. What kind of thing him come a dance and a preach? Can't believe me until me go there and see it. Can't believe them till they get to youths them fi bleach. Pour them tongue and a lot, pour them cheek. Can't believe Jamaica, man a follow freak. All over the globe same pattern a repeat. Now them want go carry that for African street. Until revolution make the heathen retreat. Beware no care, super seal the bridge. Teach the little youths where King Selassie I speech. In a Mount Zion revolution war reach. If a sound boy cool, we turn on the heat. Revolution inside the dancers. Send them slack me sound, we slaughter them all. Big up them chests, that's why them fall. Start play up now them a ball.